How do you call a man out on his shitty dating behaviors? What do you do if you're not naturally upbeat? And how do you get the guy you're seeing to check in on a daily basis? Welcome to Ask Mark. This is week number 43 and some really lovely, beautiful questions this week. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notifications, and don't forget to join the Facebook group as well. And we will have dates next week. It's very exciting. US tour dates will be on next week. I'm going to be coming to a city near you, so I'll announce those dates next week. All right, so the first question is from Leslie, and I love this question. So Leslie says, Mark, you don't think it's worth it to ever call a guy out? I think any self-respecting, high-value woman should have boundaries and call a guy out when he has strung a person along and rejected you. Otherwise, I think men will get away with shitty behaviors. Now, we don't want men getting away with shitty behaviors, Leslie, so I really do love the question. Now, I think this question came from the ghosting video. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was that video. And it can be applied to any situation where a man has done something that you don't like or that you don't want him to do to someone else in the future. It could be ghosting, it could be using you for sex or for love, it could be any sort of immoral, stringing you along, as Leslie said, any sort of immoral dating behaviors. Should you give a man feedback? And if so, how do you give a man feedback? So this is really important. Now, in a lot of my videos, I talk about taking yourself away and simply going on and getting on with your amazing life is better than standing around calling him out. And this is why. People learn from negatives. Okay, the human brain developed things like pain, things like frustration. It developed these negative emotions as fuels to change something, to change an action, to change something about the environment. Something needed to change to enhance our survival. That's the purpose that negative emotions showed. And we all know this instinctively. So when someone does wrong by you, when a man does wrong by you, the instinct is to want to give him as much negative emotions as soon as possible, right? Your ego kicks in, and even though you might not do it, you really want to bitch that guy out, you want to call him on it, you want to tell him what it's at. You want to make him feel shitty so that he doesn't do this again. Now, sometimes your intent is purely from your ego. You want to bite back at him. Other times, your intent is genuinely just so that he doesn't do that to another woman. But in either case, it's important to examine the type of negatives that you're giving a man to teach him. The instinctual one, which is just to bite back, put yourself in that position. At some point, you've probably ghosted someone. You might have not even realized that you did it. You just stopped replying and the guy went away sad. Now imagine that guy calling you up on it by, say, an aggressive text message. He sends you a text out of nowhere. You just thought you stopped messaging and he says, hey, well, fuck you. This is why women are manipulators. Don't ever text me again. You can just fuck off. Does it make you want to change your behavior? Not really. The way I put this question is that imagine if everyone did that action, would it change the world? And how would it change the world? If every woman gave men this type of negative feedback, what would end up happening? Would men really learn their lesson and want to act? Probably not. Men would get a little negative feedback, but mostly they just end up resenting and become really annoyed at women. So what's a better way? What's a better way to give feedback, negative feedback to men in dating? Well, a slightly better way is to be more vulnerable with it. For example, saying something like, hey, just letting you know, just wanted to give you a bit of feedback that the way you disappeared without messaging, it really hurt me. It really stung. I'm not saying this to get you back. I'm not saying this because I want anything. Just a bit of feedback for future women you meet. And that'll have a little bit of an impact. The negative emotion you're going for there is not the ego kick. It's not anger. It's guilt. The man feels guilty. Hopefully he doesn't do that to another woman in the future. Now, if your intent is really on point and if you're honest that you're not doing this to get him back, then maybe that's a way you decide to give a man feedback. But again, look at it from your point of view. If you got that feedback, how would you receive it? You'd be more likely to think it over than the first version, but it would depend where you are whether you take it on board. If you're feeling very lonely, if you feel like you haven't met any men lately, you might take that feedback quite seriously. But if you were off dating someone else happy, you'd probably read it, feel guilty for 30 seconds and then shrug your shoulders. Meanwhile, this guy has spent an enormous amount of time stewing over you, brewing over you, probably planning that text. He's focused so much energy on you and you haven't thought about him. And it's the same in reverse. Giving men feedback by this vulnerable method, again, is putting all this focus and attention on someone who is out of your life, in the ghosting example, and hasn't really earned it. So what's the best way to give a man negative feedback to change his actions so that he doesn't do it to you, or perhaps more importantly, any other woman again? How can you find something that projects that if everyone did it, it would work? It's very simple. The best negative feedback you can give a man for his actions that you did not like in dating is the loss of you. Okay, men, if they lose you, should feel so shit just from losing an awesome woman that you don't need to do any of this other stuff. Make him feel guilty, make him feel terrible. You don't have to do any of that. The loss of you should be enough. You don't walk away to make him feel bad, but if you're an awesome woman, if you're working on your life, if you're kicking your goals, then that should be all it takes. Because if every woman in the world did that, if every woman in the world walked away from a ghoster, didn't make time for him, held her standards high, I guarantee you there would be no ghosting men in the world. I guarantee it. When do men really listen to feedback? It's when they're coming towards you. Okay? Think of it like a dog. If a dog is wanting chicken and you're holding lettuce and the dog's running away to some chicken somewhere else, fat chance that dog's going to sit for you. But then the dog realizes that you're the one that actually has all the chicken. It comes back, suddenly you tell that dog to sit, now it wants to listen. The negative experience of losing all the chicken and the realization that, hey, the chicken's actually over here, better sit for that shit, is how the dog learns. And it's exactly the same with men. Such a good question. Such a good question. All right, the next question is from Olivia. And Olivia says, this is all great, but not all of us are naturally upbeat. So what do girls like us do? Olivia, this is really important. In the end, like attracts like. Your energy is going to attract a similar energy to your life. For me, I'm always looking at ways I can change. I'm always looking at ways I can change myself, not for anybody else, but how can I put out an energy that I love more? How can I put out an energy to you that you're going to resonate with more? I want you to resonate with my videos, so I think, okay, how can I make sure that I'm putting out an energy where you and I can connect? This is not something I'm doing to please you, but it's something I love doing for myself. And this is the personal development attitude, Olivia, that I'd encourage you to adopt. So don't change for a man, not for a second, because then you're going to betray your own values. But what I have every client do when I first meet them is figure out clearly what their values are and what they'd live like if they were living true to their authentic self. Because none of us are. I guarantee, no matter who you are, no matter how authentically you're living, there's ways you can enhance it. Me included, all of us. So Olivia, ask yourself, what is my most authentic self? And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be you sitting around grumbling, being sad, putting out these negative energies to the world. Define your authentic self and then make a project of yourself to living to it. Whatever it is, that will become the energy you attract, the men you attract to your life. And there's ways to do this. All you've got to do is look for them. My clients come to me, we do simple exercises. We put questions on their alarms on their phone throughout the day. We do meditation. We do things like practicing their self-talk. We learn to recognize their patterns. They recognize their own patterns and they work on changing the ones that aren't serving them in putting the energies they want out there and being their authentic selves. Whatever it is for you though, you've got to figure out, how do I want to be? How do I want to change myself to be my best self? And then go and do that. A good tip I use with clients to help with this is figure out the type of energy that you love to see in another person. When we look at a movie hero or say a sports star, when we look at someone and admire their traits, what we're really admiring about them is traits within ourselves. Most of us don't look at really negative, miserable people and go, I love that. We look at people where we know there's part of that energy within us. And so I'd say to you, Olivia, or you out there, figure out what that energy is. So even if you're not upbeat now, figure out, hey, I just love The Rock because he's always smiling. That energy is in you. That's why you love that energy. So do what it takes, find a coach, search the internet, read books, do whatever it takes to bring that energy out within yourself and change yourself for the better. Awesome question. Next question is from Tiago, and Tiago sent a message through on the Facebook. Make sure you join the Facebook group. Tiago says, hello Mark, I truly appreciate your clarity in your work. I've been seeing this guy for a month or so and things have been going very well. No one has ever been as nice as me as he is. And this is super beautiful. We're pretty much together, but I find myself freaking out of the blue if I don't hear from him for a day. Should I communicate that I'd like him to at least check in on me here and there? Don't want to sound needy, but this is something I find important. This is a really key question, Tiago, because this is the point where, particularly if you are a more anxious attachment style, you can start to rely on a man for your security and start to want him to fulfill those needs for you that previously, a month ago, you were single and doing for yourself. And if you start relying on a man for all of your emotional states, he's going to pull away. That's your business. It's nice to have a man there to support you in that, but you still want to retain the ability to do that yourself. So Tiago, here's what I do. I'm always saying invest in people who invest in you. So invest in him. You like the guy, okay? Push forward. Don't be scared to push forward and text him to see how his day is going on those days. There's nothing needy or wrong with texting someone you like, especially not someone that you're seeing regularly. Like you like the guy, be open and honest with him. Do it again tomorrow. And then leave it, right? It's all about investment for investment. So you're showing interest in him, but then he has to reciprocate that interest too. And if you're finding that you're not getting that interest reciprocated, that's when you can go and have a chat to him. So it's the way you come at the conversation. Don't come at him by saying, hey, I want you to reassure me. Hey, I want to hear from you every day. Guys are just going to go, not going to deal with this. But whereas, if you've been checking in on him and you've done it for a couple of days and then you leave it and he's like, oh, I didn't hear from you today. And you go, check in with me too, mister. Like, I love hearing from you. I love checking in on you. He's much more likely to be open for that, right? Because you've put yourself out there first. You've made the investment. You're not demanding it from him. You're just expecting what you did to be reciprocated. It's going to get what you want and it's going to come from a much better, more secure place. Final question is from Guzelli, and Guzelli says, I have a question. I have a crush on someone for about 3 years now. This guy's the only one I've ever felt attracted to. He is attracted to me, but he only likes me physically. He does not like my personality. Oh God. But that is just an assumption, deduction. Right. I want to ask you whether is the following idea good or bad? First time, first sex with him. I want to do it because if I don't know, I will spend the rest of my life wondering how it would be if we do it, and because I don't believe I will ever be attracted to someone so much. Seriously, the first boy I've ever illusioned having sex with. Reasons why I wouldn't do it. What if I am bad? I'm assuming in bed. What if I break emotionally more than before? What if he would start rumors that I am bad in bed? Should I do it the one-time standard? Gazelle, I'm going to be serious with this because you do sound pretty young. It's very important you don't do this. It's very important you don't do this because you're not doing it for the right reasons. So, Guzelli, there's a lot of infatuation happening here. You're putting this guy up on a pedestal. You're thinking he's this amazing quality guy when really what you should be qualifying a man on or a boy on is what's he put into you? What's he invested into you? Now, I don't know if it's just your insecurities talking, saying that he's not into your personality, or whether he's actually not into you. But in either way, he hasn't invested into you. And you want to be more attracted to men, like train yourself to go after men who invest in you. Because these guys, these men, boys that just make you feel amazing, but don't actually invest, is the road map, is the path to a life of unsatisfying one-way relationships. Sleeping with him will make it 10 times worse. So do not go and sleep with him here. Make sure you meet other boys, meet other men, and think about all the things that he hasn't done for you to take away some of this illusion. I promise you, have faith in my words, you will meet someone else who you feel just as strongly for, who will want to share that with you, sex with you, and who will be much more invested in you. Promise you, Guzeli. Good question. Thank you for sending it in. Well, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions for next week. Need more questions, so keep them coming. Space below. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit that big red subscribe button and the little bell as well. Join the Facebook group and don't forget 12 irresistible texts to make him yours. If you haven't already downloaded the guide, I know a few of you got caught up in the email. I had an email block there. That's gone through now, so make sure you get the guide if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video next week.